The perfect lineup for the Dodgers, the lineup change they have to make, in my opinion, is Shohei Ohtani back to the leadoff spot, Will Smith, who's having an MVP caliber season for a catcher, batting second, Freddie Freeman, who's been great of late, he's found his swing again, bats third. Teoscar Hernandez has had a down year by his standards, but had a good series against the Red Sox, has showed signs, and the truth is that the reason why you re-signed him was to be that hitter in the middle of your lineup that rakes against lefties. I still believe in Teo. Teo bats cleanup, and then Max Muncy, who should return tonight, bats fifth. Then Mookie bats sixth, followed by Conforto, Pages, and in that ninth spot, it depends on who's healthy. Freeland right now, Tommy Edman when he's healthy, Ha-Seong Kim, we'll see what happens to that. So Ohtani, Smith, Freeman, Teoscar, Muncy, Mookie, Conforto, Paz, and Freeland. And as far as defensive configuration, if it were my team, this is how I'd run things right now. I'd move Mookie off shortstop. And if Mookie is hell-bent on staying in the infield, you could throw him at second base. And then when Tommy Edman gets healthy, you have him at shortstop. But now you put Alex Freeland at shortstop. The kid has hit 300. The kid has played shortstop throughout his entire career. Only time he went to third was after Max Muncy got injured. But he can play shortstop at the big league level. And he looks like he can hit. He got a hit from both sides of the plate in this series against the Rays. It looks like Morgan Wallen too. So right now, why not? Because when Max Muncy comes back, he's your third baseman, and there's no discussion about that. He's your third baseman and does not move off that position. But what Mookie at shortstop and Muncy at third and Freddie at first, this team has locked in a lot of different positions on the diamond. And we know that this team likes to get creative. They like to move guys around. They like to shuffle the deck a little bit. And if you move Mookie off his shortstop, you can have some more lineup flexibility, right? You can move Tommy Edman in. You can move Tommy Edman out. You can see if you have something in Alex Freeland. You can see how Ha-Seong Kim plays that position. You can have a defensive substitution with Miguel Rojas, who's still the best defensive shortstop on the team late in the games. There's different things that you can do that help this team win baseball games and improve on the margins if you do that. So you can move Mookie off of shortstop, move him to second base, or let's be honest, the outfield defense isn't good. Like the Dodgers are below average defensively. So think about this. If the Dodgers are below average defensively in the outfield, with Conforto in left, with Paz in center, with Teo in right, that puts you at three below average defensive outfielders: Conforto, Pages, and Teo. And then in the infield, Muncy, Mookie. So that's already five positions where you're like, okay, you better hit to really make sense of the defense, right? So, I mean, if you would change the defense a little bit, one thing you could do too is the second base position, depending on who you throw there, you could have Tommy Edman in center field. And of course, he's injured right now. The ankle's injured, so you can't have him there. But if you have Tommy Edman in center field, Pages in left, Teo in right, then you can put Conforto to the bench, and he's just a very expensive bench piece. So I do think there's so many better defensive configurations that this team could have based on the talent that's on the roster. But let's be honest, we're putting guys at certain positions because they want to be there, right? Because they've decided that that's a position they want to play. It's not necessarily the guys on the roster that are the best at playing that position. I mean, I think Tommy at shortstop really is my postseason move. Mookie at second. And then you could still go Conforto, Paz, and Teo if you want to go that route. But at the very least, your shortstop defense improves. Your second base defense improves. Alex Call is still a very good defender. We saw him make a nice play on a Johnny DeLuca fly ball down the right field line yesterday. But that's where I'm at. So we'll see what happens tonight. Look, if Mookie gets that ovation, goes 4 for 4, that's the perfect scenario. We're already in Hollywood. Get the script writers out. Have Kevin Costner play in the movie. I don't know. It'd be awesome, right? But I also think that along with just wrapping our arms around Mookie, which absolutely we should do. He's the greatest. Love Mookie Betts. Marcus Lynn Betts, right? Mookie living his Betts life. Love the guy. Love what he's done for this team. I've had his back when everyone was talking about the bowling thing, right? But I also think too, it's something where you have to explore different actions instead of just running out there and hoping, because hoping is not a strategy, right? But let me know down below in the comment section. What are your thoughts? How would you fix this top of the lineup situation? Because you can't have a guy that's a 306 on base guy as your number 2 hitter or your leadoff hitter, right? That just can't happen. Like there's no team in Major League Baseball that would go with that when you have the kind of talent that you have. It'd be one thing if they didn't have the guys they do, but they have dudes that other teams don't have. And it just so happens that this year, Will Smith, who's a right-handed hitter, is having an MVP caliber season, and you can stagger Shohei left, Will right, Freddie left. That's the perfect left, right, left to start things off. And then if Teo hits, you got a perfect left, right, and then Muncy too if he hits like he was hitting. So that's where I'm at on that. I want to read your comments. Then we'll get to our takeaways. Victor Baños, 3619, a $50 super chat. Thank you so much. Hi, DMAC. What do you think of moving Mookie to 6 or 7 in the lineup until he is unlocked and he's better defensively? I agree on him playing second, and thanks for the show. Well, I pretty much answered your question the first 20 minutes of this show. Where is Kike? Does he need Tommy John? The $2 super chat from James Joseph Jerkich. Yeah, that's definitely going to be a storyline to monitor down the stretch, because Kike Hernandez, he was having a really nice season by his standards for sure. And then unfortunately for him, he suffered this injury to his elbow where you're really starting to worry about it. You're really starting to get concerned about when he's going to come back, because he has yet to resume baseball activities. The Dodgers are still optimistic that he's going to return from left elbow inflammation before the end of the season, but it's not going to be anytime soon. He's been out since early July. Hopefully we'll get another update about Kike this week, hopefully today by Dave Roberts. We got the _sandwich 101 199. Need to let Brent Honeywell Jr. toss BP to him. That's a fire take. That's a fire take right there. Of course, Brent Honeywell, when they were down in San Diego for the NLDS, the fighting turtleneck, the mullet, the chains, he threw to Mookie, and he was just getting Mookie to hit bombs off of him. But that's the thing about Mookie. Like, Mookie has said it himself. I remember this before the home run derby a couple years ago in Seattle. Mookie said that, hey, when I hit home runs, I hit it just right, and the ball goes just over the wall, right? So if he has lost some strength because of that early season illness, and that margin is thin, that could be the difference, right? I mean, all these things are in play for sure. But coming up next, we got our 10 big takeaways about the week that was. Then we're taking your comments. That's coming up next on Dodgers Dugout Live. Welcome to